Okay, today we're going to be talking about the philosophies behind RTMS, Ritsu's martial science. First up, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what martial science is about. Basically what we're looking to do is promote the growth of an individual's body, mind and spirit through the martial arts, or as we prefer to call them, the martial science. Now I'm going to start off by explaining the logo. The base of the logo, we've got the yin and yang, which I think everyone should know is basically a symbol for balance. Now overlaid over the top of the yin and yang, we've got the mind, body, spirit triangle. You can see that there's equal parts of mind, body and spirit, and the idea there is that we need to train all three of those, because if you just train two or one of them, you're not going to be as strong a person as if you train all three. Now when we say the mind, what we're talking about there is, well, obviously the mind, so we're talking about memory training, we're talking about visualization, we're talking about just simply being able to remember all the different moves, all the different techniques. We also have a system of mind training called Ninjutsu, which has 5 levels, just like the martial science has 5 levels. And in the mind training, we're also talking about strategies and tactics. For example, a lot of tactics to avoid a fight, to be able to escape from a fighting situation. I mean, technically, if you get into a fight, you've probably already lost. So we really want to avoid that fight, and we want to use strategy and tactics as much as possible to give ourselves the best edge in survival, which is what it's ultimately about. We're ultimately about just surviving. It doesn't matter if you look good, it doesn't matter if you get into a fight, well, you're going to be trying not to get into a fight, but it's just about surviving the encounter. It's a very defensive oriented martial art. And the second part is body. That's very obvious, in that we're training all our physical attributes, so strength and stamina and flexibility, power, timing, balance, all these sorts of things. That's all the kicks and the strikes and the grappling and even the rock climbing, all the running, all that sort of stuff. So the body's very obvious, and the body's actually the main reason why most people come and train in the system. And the third area is spirit. Now that's one of the things that's probably enforced in this system a lot more than in other systems, is spirit. And when we say spirit, we're not talking about deep spiritual meditation on the side of a mountain. What we're talking about is life spirit. It's about getting out there and living life to the fullest. It's about enjoying travel, enjoying the outdoors, growing as a person, getting a good personality, that sort of thing. So, training in spirit, we want to be having fun, and we want to be working on our character. We just want to be getting out there and experiencing life, because there is a lot out there to experience. Okay, now a few specific points of philosophy about RTMS. The first one is, when we're training for street scenarios, we always train in simple, effective manoeuvres that actually work. We don't do anything too fancy, the idea being that when you are in a street situation and the adrenaline's up, you're going to need to revert to tactics that are very simple to remember, very intuitive, very instinctual. Because if it's too complex, or if there's too many elements that need to be in place for you to pull off that technique, then the chances of it working are very, very minimal. So you need to have movements that are very simple, very easy to remember, very easy to learn, and things that will come to you on the spot. Things that you can drill over and over and over, and you can really get that reaction. Like I said, nothing too fancy. But having said that, Ritsu's martial arts school, we train in the martial, but we also train in the art. So we train in the effects that are very simple and easy to use and instinctual, but we also train in the jumping, spinning, back kicks and stuff like that, because hell, they're just fun. And that's where the art part of martial art comes into. And we feel it's important to train in both, because, the idea of martial arts training isn't just for the street. There are an extraordinary amount of different reasons to train in martial arts, and to be honest, in my view, training for a fight is really probably one of the least important. I started martial arts training 10 years ago, where I trained intensively in Wing Chun, and since the first day I started training, then I haven't been in a single fight. Now, does that mean that all the training I've had has gone to waste? I don't believe so. I've developed a lot of strength and a lot of power through that. I've been able to advance all three, my mind, body and spirit, through the martial arts training. I've had a hell of a lot of fun. I've done a lot of cool stuff. Whatever. I'm glad this is being edited. So we've got to train equal parts of martial and the art. We've got to do the stuff that's simple and effective on the street, so that we do know what to do if we get into a street scenario, but we've also got to do the stuff that's fun. We've got to get out there and, like I said before, just enjoy life. The next point I want to raise is defense rather than offense. This is a defensive martial art where we're really looking to survive. A lot of martial arts out there, what they will teach you is, you get into a situation and you do this technique and this technique and this technique and this technique, and they're all aggressive techniques. The fact of the matter is, when you're in a street scenario, the dude isn't going to just stand there still while you perform half a dozen flashy maneuvers on him. Street scenarios don't work like that. So what the hell was I on about? How did I get into this?
You were just going off on random philosophy tangents. You talked about the logo, and you were just kind of elaborating on some of the different things that we did.
Martial and the art, simple and effective, defensive, that's right. We're after defense. So we're training body movements so that we're avoiding the attacks. That's first and foremost. The idea that we're going to avoid the attacks. We're going to block them, but blocking shouldn't be the highest priority. The first priority is just get the hell out of the way. Second priority, get that hand up so we've got some sort of shield in between yourself and the attacks. And the third priority, only then, is to attack back. Sometimes we're going to be wanting to attack to actually immobilize the opponent, sometimes just to break up the flow and just distract them, or perhaps we escape. But the idea is defense. It's not about throwing 100 flashy moves that are all supposed to be doing damage, that most of which aren't going to land. It's about just surviving the encounter. It's basically what we're after, is defense. Another aspect of RTMS I'm going to talk about is just training in the outdoors. We train almost always in the outdoors, on grass here, like you can see here. We've got an obstacle course set up that we run and jump over and that. Sometimes we go down to the beach over there. We train on the beach, and the idea of that is, once again, the spirit. It comes back to the spirit. You don't want to just be training inside four walls all the time. We're going to be out there living life and training in the environment. And also, we don't train on mats for the simple reason that when you're on the street, if you do get into a confrontation, there aren't any mats on the street. You're going to be getting thrown or rolling or falling on concrete, and so you have to get used to being able to survive encounters on hard ground. So training in the outdoors is one of the things that we're very big on. Now, another thing I just want to elaborate on the spirit is that the spirit part of it, really, we want to be doing a variety of different things. So we're not just training in the martial arts, we're not just training to kick someone's butt. We're also out there, we're rock climbing, we're trekking, we're camping, we're doing stuff like that. We're going to different islands, we're just experiencing life, we're travelling, doing all sorts of different things. It's not just martial arts training. And that to me is a big one. The ability just to be able to do a variety of different things, all enjoyable, all fun, is a big aspect to the training here. I mean, I don't know about you guys at home, but when I was a kid I used to watch Jackie Chan movies, and just watching some of the cool stuff that he did, I was just like, wow, I want to be able to do that. And it's not necessarily going to work in a real fight. I mean, he'd be there and he'd kick a plate into someone's face, and then he'd punch this dude, kick this dude, and run up a flagpole and jump into a clock tower, and then jump off the clock tower, and it's just like, well, I'm not really going to be doing that, and it's not going to work in a fighting scenario, but god damn, that looks like fun. And that's really what we're about. And that's my main reason to be here, for instance. I mean, a lot of people spend their whole lives working in an office, enclosed in those four walls. They just live for the weekends, but I mean, what happens on the weekend? On Saturday they wake up and they're too stuffed from a week at work, and they've got to do all the stuff they couldn't fit in during the week. They've got to go to shopping and buy the kids this and do that, and so Saturday night maybe they have a bit of a fun. Sunday comes around, and well, then tomorrow's Monday already. I don't consider that a life. I don't know how most people can do that. At RTMS here, we're after showing people a different way to live, a different way to experience life, a way that really you just get out there and you have fun and you have experiences. There's so much world out there. There's so many different places to travel, different experiences to have, and we're about really showing people a little part of that. And that is the philosophy of RTMS. Thank you.